Hello and welcome, heroes, to the Crit Academy. I am your host, Justin.
I'm your co-host, Austin.
And I'm your other co-host, Ian.
I don't know
Good
why,
job.
like, we haven't done this in a while. I feel
Yeah,
like
like
feels
7
like-
days. Like, it's weird. Like,
It feels way longer than a week since I've done this, but it's still been a week.
this podcast was created to provide you, our heroes, with new and reusable material for both players and DMs.
We hope to inspire you with creative content that you can bring with you on your next adventure.
Our show may not be suitable for young children, but neither is our D&D games.
And apparently our laptop.
It says it wants me to restart. No, get off my screen.
Yeah, right. Oh,
I am really excited for today's episode, you guys.
He is.
I want a boss fight, damn it!
I can agree to that.
So can the Angry GM.
Yeah. I feel like that's something that's sorely needed in anything
now,
RPG related.
I do think that legendary creatures with legendary actions and lair actions have definitely helped that.
They definitely capture that.
But that's mostly like high level stuff.
Yeah.
Mostly.
Well, we're going to be talking about the Angry GM solution to boss fights, his Paragon monsters, in our main topic today. So I'm super excited about that.
Woohoo!
But before all that, if you enjoy the show, you'd like to support us, head on over to critacademy.com, check out our Patreon page, lots of fat loots. Actually, just today I made a post over at facebook.com/critacademy and on twitter.com/critacademy. And there's a link there. I gave away one of my free one-page adventure. That's normally something that our patrons get. So if it's something you like, check it out, pick it up, and if you like it a lot, consider being a patron supporter, and you'll get more of that stuff, including lots of dozens of monsters and all kinds of other fat loot. So
Like player options are also included. So
yeah, lots of good stuff. I got too much going on. Working on 4 projects right now. It's overload.
Why do you do this to yourself?
You know what? It's a lot of work, but I love it.
I tell this to my friend Mark all the time. Like, he's like, yeah, I got like 6 projects in this month. I'm like, hey, you know what would save your mental health? Doing like 2.
Not running yourself out?
For sure.
Yeah.
I'm really excited for that. If you've been following along, our Kickstarter has officially funded.
Yeah.
So we're super excited. Thank you to everyone who became a backer.
Thank you very much. We're pretty good past beyond our goal now, so it's been pretty nice.
I mean, as of this recording, we have like 4 days left. We have over 500 backers, and we're over 16K, so...
Yeah,
We're doing really good.
We're getting closer to that next stretch goal where we'll accept backer submissions for monsters, which is really cool.
Yeah.
So that's exciting for me because it gives other people an opportunity to get published who doesn't normally do that. So it's a good opportunity for like those homebrew DMs that really like to sink their teeth and get their name published in a book. So if we could reach that would be great.
Fantastic.
So thank you guys very much for all the support. Moving on.
How would we go about that, by the way? Would we just like us 3 just vote on something
That's
or something like
kind
that?
of what I imagined.
Okay.
I
just
figure
wanted to
what we would do
assume.
is we would sort out a bunch of them first and then bring what we narrow down to the backers and take a
Gotcha.
poll or something.
Oh, okay. I like that too, actually.
So now there are some, like there's some of the higher tiers. We're making monsters out of some people that took the one of the higher tiers. So I'm excited because somebody really close to me picked one of those up.
Okay.
And I have the perfect idea of what sort of monster should be after him. So
sorry to you in advance. I don't know who you are, but
it's my dad actually.
Which tier is that?
Sorry,
one of the highest tiers, I think.
Sorry to
there ain't no more left,
Justin's dad in advance.
That's his. So yeah, thank you. Anyways, so thank you guys for joining us today here at Crit Academy Studios, where everything's made up and your rolls don't matter.
Yep, that's right. Your rolls are like an angry DM on a good day. I almost said GM, but
it's supposed to be GM. I'm just a dipshit. There.
Angry GM on a good day.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, there we go. Just refilter that a little bit.
It's all good.
Yeah.
I'm sure Seth could take care of it.
Angry GM on a good day.
For our Let's Talk About Blank segment, there has been some huge news that has come out recently in regards to the next big Dungeons and Dragons resource. The Tasha's Tasha's Cauldron of Everything, right?
Yep. Yeah.
So I'm really excited for this. First of all, if you don't know, Tasha is like one of the big lore sort of characters in D&D. It's Greyhawk, I think, right?
One of the original player characters.
Yeah, but she's also a lore character too, right?
That's why she's a Lloyd.
Got it.
character.
Okay. But I think she was from Greyhawk, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
So, but she's really big. Everyone knows you mentioned the spell.
Yeah,
Tasha's
Tasha's hideous laughter.
right.
Yep.
Everyone
So-
kind of knows that one offhand.
So what's really cool about this book, besides it's got a really cool premise. It's following the traditional like the Xanathar's Guide or the Volos, where you're seeing it through the lens of that character.
Which is always really fun. I enjoy that a lot.
I heard we're getting more. Sounds like we're getting more Tasha spells too, based on what Jeremy Crawford said in the article.
Crawford said a lot of things.
So we've got this Gizmodo link with much more detail than we're going to cover here specifically at
Yeah.
critacademy.com/post/episode 185.
185, yep.
Yeah.
185.
So there's a lot in this. Besides, why am I getting a million pop-ups?
That and some ads, of course.
So there's a couple big things that's going on in this. Besides we're getting new spells, new features, there's one thing that really stands out. Do you guys know what that is?
Is it the subclass?
Well,
There's going to be new
subclasses.
subclasses.
they're going to be new subclasses, but I know what Justin's talking about is the new race options.
Yes.
I have heard about that.
So there's been a lot of speculation. There's been I've seen news articles talking about how Dungeons and Dragons players are calling for the removal of races. As far as I can tell, that's not accurate. But what they have done is stripped away the restriction of building a character race based on their stats. Like, for instance, half orc gets what? Strength and con?
Yep.
Yes.
That's no longer going to be. I think it sounds like they want to allow you to just reallocate those stats.
It does sound like they're making it more modular and give you more options for it to swap out.
To me, it sounds like they're taking what they've kind of already given the human, because you can move around your stats and reallocate them. Now,
what I find interesting about that is race does still matter because there is like the feats that you can still take that are mostly based around.
yep.
race.
Is it out of Xanathar's where the
I think
feats
it's
were in
about
there?
That's what I got going officially, yes.
Yes. So, and also I don't think we have any confirmation on this, but I do think that some of the features will still stay with the races. Like Elf Trance is not going to be like.
Yeah.
I don't imagine. I guess we don't know for certain that it's not going to be like, oh, I'm a human with trance.
Human with elf trance, that'd be so crazy.
Well,
You're like, what? Could you imagine like a monster like, oh, but he's a human. I'm just gonna put him to sleep, and then the human's just looking at you like, yeah.
Now, my personal question that I always harp on: will orcs finally have orcish resilience like the half orcs do?
That would be a monster, right?
Who knows?
I guess we'll know. Jeremy, he probably knows.
Probably.
I know that's always bugged you.
Oh yeah.
The half orcs get the
Orcish
orcish resilience, but the regular orcs don't.
Yeah.
Because why?
Yeah.
They call it orcish resistance because they don't want to admit that the other half's actually stronger, and which gave them the buff to begin with.
That'd be so silly. I love it.
But they're also adding a lot more features. They're also dipping pretty heavily from Eberron. Like they are dragging over some of the magic items, making them less Eberron-y, and they are apparently going to move over Artificer as well too. So.
Oh,
Okay.
so that way, if you didn't want to purchase the Eberron just to get the Artificer,
Which I did.
I know a lot of people did. A lot
A
of
lot of
did
people
that.
probably did.
You can now just pick this up in its place if Eberron's not really your jams, which I think is pretty cool.
And to be fair, we do kind of have precedence for this too, because we did see them port over the archetypes from Sword Coast to Xanathar's.
I was gonna say I do remember that.
Did
Wasn't
they?
all of them.
It
Not
wasn't
all
all
of
of them.
Not
though.
all of them.
Right.
Yeah, because I think what is it, the Purple Knight or whatever,
And the Blade Singer, I think.
Blade Singer as well.
But I think things like that are going to change too. I think Blade Singer's getting a rework, and it's not going to require the elf prerequisite.
Although they did kind of like say, unless your DM says otherwise.
Right, which is always going to be the case,
Oh,
right?
absolutely,
I mean,
yeah.
If your DM says "F you," you can't do it. Well, he's a dick or she's a dick. Here a dick, there a dick, everywhere a dick. I think that you're always going to have DM fiat. I don't think that's ever going to go away. But the fact that WotC has taken this stance, hey,
Here's more player options.
here's more versatility in your character creation, which is really tickling my dice, to be
Which
honest.
I think is, again, should you want it? Which is another thing. And for some
my
reason,
God,
people
yes.
always argue, like, no, the ability scores on the races should always be this. An orc can't be a wizard. And it's like, but why not?
You suck, yeah.
It's like, I don't know. It's
That's something that I think people forget. Like, I saw a lot of comments. I mean, I'm indifferent. I don't care. It's their game. They can do whatever the hell they want.
Right,
If you
yeah.
don't like it, don't run it that way. People already run homebrew because they don't like Forgotten Realms.
Yeah, it's been that way since the beginning of D&D, probably.
Can I just say how amazing the artwork was for the cover? Did you see the cover artwork?
I did briefly. Oh, that's really cool.
Oh,
I like
it's dope
that.
as hell.
Yeah.
She doesn't look like she's gonna make anybody laugh, though. I'm gonna be honest. Like,
Yeah.
but she's holding out her spell book and it's bursting in flames on the pages and shit over her cauldron.
Her book's on fire and she's secretly like panicking. She's like, oh my god, oh my god, oh my god.
She
oh
keeps
my
it
god.
under a straight facade.
She's like, he's like, we're just gonna do a photo shoot for you real quick, Miss Tasha, okay? You're just gotta. She's like, all right, fire spell, fire spell, fire spell. Oh my god, it's on fire.
The
It's like,
whole
oh, wow.
room's burning down around her while she's taking pictures.
And the guy's like, oh, that looks really good. So keep it that way. And she's like, oh my god.
So I can't help but this image from Gizmodo. That's a scion, right?
Sorry, it looks like it.
Does that mean we're gonna might have an official scion class?
Who knows?
Because that's certainly a scion. There's little pink laser
Yeah,
coming out from his
straight out of his
like,
forehead.
Yeah,
Well, they did experiment.
it looks like a monk.
Although they did experiment with Scion archetypes in various
glasses.
classes, so they could finally be moving that over since archetypes are being introduced. So
I
Yeah.
mean, I'd like some psionic stuff. Finally.
Yeah, I know though there was a lot of negativity around the last Unearthed Arcana that they released.
well,
so,
to be fair, a couple of the builds were kind of broken too. So
yeah.
This is true. Yeah.
Oh, so there is a subtitle here. It says a suitably ticked off wizard zaps a troglodyte with mind sliver.
one of the
There's several
several psionic
psionics.
spells featured in the book.
Oh, so it is
maybe
confirmed, maybe then.
maybe it's just a scion spell specifically. Maybe they were gonna get the class. Maybe it's a wizard subtype like they experimented with the just recently in the Unearthed Arcana. I don't know. I'm excited. I kind of derailed from where I wanted to go with that conversation, but overall, all you folks that are all pissed off about the race changes, just don't change them in your game, dude.
Yeah, it's
And
If it
pretty.
bugs you that much.
And these rules are optional, so
Yeah. So
It's kind of how D&D's always been.
it's so funny because people are like, just play second edition. Yeah. Okay. Go do that.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not going to tell you no.
Right.
I'm playing my game. You play your game.
Yep.
I don't see the issue.
Was there anything else we wanted to talk about here on this book besides how sexy it looks?
I mean, psionics are great. Woo! Hopefully they come out in this book.
That would be cool. That would be cool.
I would appreciate it. Thank you.
One of my favorite classes in 4E was the Scion, so doing psionic shit. So
Psionic rogue sounds so fun.
that knife ability that they had was
I
dope as hell.
wanted
Psylocke
it,
build,
so I was
man.
like, man, I could do that.
All right, I think that'll do it for our Let's Talk About Blank segment. Before we move on to our main topic, we have a gift to give away. Compliments of Lois Smith.
Yeah, it is the modular dungeon tiles, specifically though the Arcania set. Now the modular dungeon tiles are an easy way to create your own beautiful digital maps. Now the Arcania set in specific lets you make dark, shadowy dungeon maps rich with the fumes of arcane secrets. On one hand, maybe you found that psionic rogue and he's pissed. On the other, maybe you found Tasha. She's also pissed. Don't do either. Run forward.
Kudos, man. Kudos.
Um,
Who's our winner today?
Our winner today is Aragorn, 8597 or 937. 85937.
I think that's where
Congratulations,
the golf clap. Golf clap?
Oh, good job.
Round of
But-
applause.
If you didn't win, don't worry about it. Just head over to critacademy.com/loresmiths to get a free set of digital terrain and so much more.
Oh yeah, there's some good stuff there. Chris Vanderlinden, who runs that, he's just awesome. He's got
just
amazing team
throwing
of
stuff at
writers.
you.
Yeah, he does pretty fantastic.
Something will land.
Now, on to our main topic. The Angry GM's Paragon of Monsters. Now, we have a link in our show notes at critacademy.com that'll take you to the full article. We basically tore some bits and pieces of it out of it. We're going to talk about specifically because I'm going to be honest, I love Angry GM like nobody's fucking business.
and I do.
But not that that's a bad thing. I mean,
I was gonna say we kind of do
I
that
do
too
that
every
a
once in a
lot.
while.
And as I said before, I love his opening statement in this
oh
article
yeah.
too.
So, let's be honest. D&D is a combat-focused game. I can't imagine why you like that opening statement.
Because some people don't seem to grasp that fact.
I mean, come on. If some of your features are geared strictly towards combat, there's probably going to be some combat-focused gameplay.
Like 80% of the book is focused on combat
Yeah.
specifically.
Well, that, and if we're going to do is role playing, you don't need rules.
Yeah, right? That's just storytelling. Anyways,
It's
so
true.
I think we can agree you can't argue with that, right?
Nope.
And you'd be stupid to try.
But many people do.
You can stay away
Yeah.
from combat if you want, but you can't pretend it isn't designed around pretty damn cool combat engine. And the basic structure of the game is a string of mostly action-oriented encounters, including combat, right?
Yeah.
That ultimately resolve a problem or achieve a goal.
Correct.
Now, at the end of the string of encounters, we expect something big and climactic.
I want to fight Medusa.
And if we spent most of the game fighting, we expect a big climactic fight. Boss fights are cool. I agree
Looking
with
at you,
Yang.
Zario.
Yeah,
About to beat your
dude.
ass, except my
You have-
ass is going to get beat first.
You have no idea what I've got planned.
I'm
I am
really
so
hoping
excited.
you're going to, like, crack us up to, like, level 20 so you can just give reason to make her a mythic, like a mythic boss. Because that'd be so fun.
I still have my plot point.
You
So do
all
I.
do.
We're all
I'm just
ready
wondering
to
if y'all
go.
forgot. I wasn't going to remind anybody in case you forget. Anyways.
Oh, no, I know what I'm going to do with that sword. Probably.
And how else do you think I'm gonna get a mech suit?
Oh, God.
I
not
love
an
it. You're in for so much shit. I'm sorry, dude. It's going to be good, though.
It's going to be fun.
It's going to be
It
fun.
really is going to be fun.
That end game is going to be fucking wild.
Anyways, boss fights are cool, and they're a great way to end an action-oriented game. #AngryGM. Now, this is where it gets interesting. See, I don't only want to have dragons as bosses or vampires or whatever. I kind of want to be able to pull a bog standard kobold out of the book, slap a few mods on it, and call it Killer Kobe the Kobold Queen.
That's a lot of K's.
But it's not 3, so we're good.
And I wanted...
We've at least went beyond the threshold, so we're fine.
Actually, it is 3.
There
No.
is 3.
Is it 3?
It's
Killer
4.
Kobe, the Kobold
Killer
Queen.
Kobe the Kobold Queen. 4.
Yeah,
That's at least
that's
it's
4.
not 3 specifically.
Yeah.
Anyways, so the Angry GM says he wanted something versatile. I wanted to be able to pull off different tricks with my monsters. I want monsters that change forms and tactics. I want monsters with heads you can sever. I want monsters with body parts that you can target to limit its abilities. And I want a simple framework to contain it all. Now,
Wouldn't that be beautiful?
I'm now
Yes.
picturing that episode of Rick and Morty where Morty gets a giant arm that has a mind of its own,
I feel out of the loop. I've never seen that show.
I feel like this is
and then get thrown into a gladiator pit.
just reminds me of
I
like
should watch that really big
something
time.
like COVID the Kobold Queen.
The funny thing,
Yeah, close enough.
you know,
It just coughs at you and everyone dies within like a 200-meter radius.
yeah,
Oh, shit.
the funny thing about Rick and Morty is that there's one guy I noticed. Like, I watched the first episode, and I thought to myself, never can I think of a time where I saw something so stupid. And next thing I knew, I watched all 3 seasons.
So
For now.
what was so the Angry GM came out with a fantastic solution, but in order for you to understand the solution, you have to understand his Twitter post that started just a whole entire thing on this topic. Austin, what was the Twitter post?
Is it A Tale of Two Snakes?
It is.
Oh my goodness. He really said it, huh?
Yeah, this is right from his Twitter.
Oh jeez. Working on a new creature, the two-headed, two-tailed
That word.
that word snake. Jeez. It's a snake with 2 heads, 2 tails, and 2 completely separate independent bodies.
Now, well, how do you think Twitter reacted to that?
What is the difference between a 1 monster and 2 monsters?
That's exactly. It's like you don't have 1 monster, you have 2 monsters.
It's like,
Yes.
no.
Like, oh my god, there was like so many. There was so many posts. It's hilarious. You got to read it. It was cracking me up the whole time. But really, essentially, everything he did just means 2 monsters. Now, what is the real big difference between 1 and 2 monsters? 2 hit point pools, right?
I guess, yeah.
So in this case, you're just doubling the hit point of the monster you have. You get 2 turns in each round of combat, and they can occupy 2 different positions and cannot be affected simultaneously by certain effects.
Okay.
So that's really the biggest difference between 1 monster and 2, right?
Right.
So if you strip that away, you're stripping away the fact that you consider them 2 monsters. So they only occupy a single space, right? And now they can only 1 effect will get them both.
Right.
So that's effect that would normally target 2 now only gets the 1, right? So
Okay.
what he does is he takes the 2 separate hit pools, and 1 hit pool has to be removed before the next one is, right? So you can't like lower them simultaneously.
Right.
Now, what do you think are some of the benefits of something like that? Instead of killing off 2 monsters, you have 2 separate hit pools, and you cut through one and into the other.
Well, focus firing doesn't make that big of a difference.
That's pretty good. What else you got?
Ooh, if you manage to get both of them within fireball radius, that's double the damage.
Ah, but it doesn't. In 2 monsters, that's true. In this one, it's not.
Yeah, it's a fun thought.
Yeah, I know, right? But that's actually the way I'm understanding it. That's part of it, right? Is that now you got 2 hit pools that can't just be nuked.
Yeah.
You can the AOE becomes kind of a moot point, I guess.
Such a weird. I'm trying to still.
Process it? Yeah,
Yeah.
it took me a little while. So one of the big things he talks about is spillover damage. When an orc with 5 hit points takes 12 points of damage, all that excess damage is gone. In this case, it all spews over into the next hit pool point, or hit point pool, or whatever. Now, this comes with some benefits. So we mentioned you get 2 turns around,
Okay.
right? Because it's
Yeah,
2
yeah.
monsters. That immediately can throw the players off because now the monster can move twice. The monster can attack twice and do a bonus action twice.
Okay.
All those things that make it
2 reactions.
2 reactions. I hadn't considered that.
That's pretty good. That can be good in a lot of cases.
Giving him something like Polearm Master or something too, where when somebody gets close, you can use your reaction to whack him. Well, now he can do that twice. The other thing that I think is interesting is because you get 2 actions, doing things like pulling levers and drinking potions and all these things that consume your attack now becomes less of an inconvenience because in a couple, turns you get to go again.
Right.
So, can you imagine a potion downing, a boss downing potions back to back?
Be pretty tough.
I think that's pretty
Could it
interesting.
chug? Well, I guess it could only chug 2, but still.
Yeah, two around though.
Yeah, 2
But
around
even if
still
it's just
really good.
one around,
If it gets 1 around, it can
it
still
might as
attack
well
with
be
the other one.
regeneration, right?
Yeah.
Just downing them consistently.
Just has a whole he has like a funnel, like those like beer funnels that come in. It's just
Or he shotguns 2 Red Bulls.
I like that. That's cool. Red Bull gives you wings.
He's now a Seraphim because he drank 2 Red Bulls, so he now has 4 wings.
Okay. Because he's double.
slowly
I got it.
turning into an archangel.
So now there were some challenges that I noticed that came with this. I'm not going to go through in the pain in the ass that it was for him to calculate CR, but that's really the only thing that seemed to be challenging. The rest is pretty much the same. Now, there's some more things that I think are really beneficial to this, but let's break down some of the features. Austin, would you like to tell us about the more details of the Paragon? They're called Paragon hit points. That's what he calls his monsters.
Sure.
Paragon monsters.
The creature has multiple pools of hit points, each of which is tracked separately. All damage and healing must be completely applied only to 1 pool of hit points. 1 pool of hit points must be completely reduced to 0 hit points before any damage is applied to another pool. When a pool of hit points is reduced to 0, all ongoing conditions and effects affecting that creature end immediately. Which is very good, actually.
That's interesting.
After a pool of hit points has been reduced to 0, it cannot receive any healing until after a long rest. Also kind of interesting. So if it's like a second snake, doesn't just find another friend. It's like, oh, hey, buddy, how you doing?
I don't know.
If it somehow survives the encounter and just a long rest later.
So if
If
you knock out Morty, his giant arm's still in effect.
If all pools of hit points have been reduced to 0 hit points, the creature is killed. Which makes
So,
sense.
you touched on something really cool here. All conditions immediately end when one of those hit points pools are gone. That means in the middle of battle, any conditions applied to the boss by all the characters, stuns, poisons,
I was going to say
any of
poisons are a
that.
big one.
any of those things just vanish in the middle of battle. He almost catches like a second wind.
Yeah.
Power through the pain.
Work
good.
through the pain, baby. To me, that is really intriguing because I've never seen anything like that.
I don't think I have either.
Yeah, fuck your banish now. Like, does he just like
comes
come back?
Yeah,
Like,
he just comes back early.
yeah, like
He just like rips a hole through it. He's like, I heard my friend died. He's just like, oh wait, hold on.
oh man.
That's silly. I like that though. That's cool.
So that is something that's intriguing. He did point out that after a pool of hit points is reduced, It can't receive any. It cannot receive any healing. So you once you've reduced it, it can't go past half of its maximum hit points at this point.
It's almost like a phase.
Yes.
Like a phase in boss fights. I don't
Yes.
know if any like person ever has played RPGs, you probably fought the final boss and he's probably like, "Why does he have a phase 3?"
Yeah.
And then you cry.
This
a
is
little.
not my final form.
And then he has a hidden phase 4. I have to collect all 5 weapons or something. I don't know.
I was thinking about you know that stuff from Final Fantasy X in particular.
I do not actually.
that bitch.
You know what I'm talking about.
I just beat that game not even a month ago.
So you know what I'm talking
Yeah,
about.
I'm
then.
going through 10-2 right now.
Aha! I took you down. Oh, she has a second form.
This is not. Then, oh, I don't even want to get started on that. She's a bitch. Kept killing me with
See, what I was thinking was in Tales of Vesperia, there's like, you fight this guy named Duke. Duke has a first form. You're like, okay, whatever. And then Duke has a second form. And you're like, oh, this kind of hurts. And then he has a third form when you collect all these, like, abyssal weapons and stuff. And then he's like, what? The cataclysm weapons. And then he's like, no. And he just asserts, like, dominance into some godlike form. You're like, ah, yes. Every single anime type, like, RPG ever. Ah, first mission of the day, go save this cat. Last mission of the day, fight God.
So if
Yeah.
you don't have those weapons, does he not transform?
He
the
doesn't
third
transform into that third form, no. It's like some stupid, crazy, like, bullshit, like, every, like, 30 seconds he does, like, this big bang attack where he puts everyone to 1 HP and no mana.
Wow, that sucks.
It's like every, literal 30 seconds. So you're just, like, chugging items. Everyone's like, I can't do this.
all right, so that's pretty interesting.
Yeah.
What about Paragon Actions, Ian?
Paragon Actions. The creature gains 1 complete turn in each combat round, including 1 reaction between each turn.
There it is.
For each pool of hit points that is above 0. When a pool of hit points has been reduced to 0, that creature loses 1 turn each round thereafter.
Okay.
So, what comes to your mind when you envision that?
I'm picturing a statue with multiple arms, or a dragon with multiple heads.
Okay. What about you?
I don't know. I want to think, like, maybe it's, like, the reverse of, like, them in, like, they start in their final form, and then they kind of, like, have to go back down so they lose all their, like, speed and shit.
They're getting weaker.
Yeah.
That's
they're
what I
effectively
envision.
getting very weaker.
So to me,
Very weaker. Much weaker.
the thing I love about this is those people who want called shots and want to remove limbs and body parts, this is the type of build you can run with this.
Absolutely.
Because it gets 2 attacks. Let's say it just got 2 arms, right? And
Yeah.
it gets 2 attacks every round. You cut off an arm, well, it's a little bit slower now, so it gets 1 less movement. It can't
Yeah.
move as quickly. It can't attack. You literally can say that it completely lost its arm in the middle of a battle.
Yeah, it's like it got bloodied or something.
Yeah. I love that term. That's my favorite term from 4A.
It's such a good term, but it never
ex-
reoccurs in modern gaming now.
No.
It never does.
4E was in there a lot, and I tried to include it early on, but then 5th edition came out with certain verbiage that basically did the same thing, so I had to get away from the keyword. But anyways, so to me, this sounds awesome if you like called shots. Like, for instance, this is really cool to me. If you're fighting the same 2 monsters, right, as one, the one
Yeah.
thing you can change is the type of damage they do. When you build a weapon or a monster, it could have a greatsword, or you can make it a polearm, or you can give them 2 daggers. You can easily change up the types of attacks each of those things do. So I'm imagining a 2-headed ogre just because that's simple for my stupid head.
Yeah, that's
in
fair.
one hand, he's got a giant meat cleaver. In the other hand, he has a giant cudgel. And the cudgel's wielded by the first set of hit points. So as soon as you get it down, the arm comes off. Boom, now he's only doing cleaver attacks. Or
Right.
something along that line.
Or that Etten player character that we be reading.
Yes, the Etten. It's actually what I was thinking when I said ogre, but
Yep.
or orc or whatever.
That 2-headed.
Yeah, the 2-headed thing with 2 different independent,
Yeah,
thoughts and
yeah.
stuff. So far this sounds pretty cool. There's a top on that. It's fine.
Good.
We did it.
You would have been a dead man otherwise.
So we talked on a couple different things. The idea of the losing of features at half health is really cool, and I think it lends itself really well to mechanical battles. If you're fighting like a mech or a robot or anything
Yeah.
along those lines, at half point, maybe their arm, the blasters fade out or
Yeah.
something.
Something like explodes off them
Yeah,
or something.
I think this really lends itself. At first, I was kind of like, this is weird, but it sounded so crazy. I was just like, this is stupid. It really is dumb. But the more I thought about it, I realized there was a subtle genius to it because I realized there's so much that I can do as a DM.
And you can make it even if it is one monster. Like you could say like what I really liked about it as well. So you talked about how one could have like a cudgel and one could have like a cleaver. Well, maybe on one hand it's wielding like a bunch of like magic and stuff, and then the other is wielding like a longsword. So you can effectively make a very humanoid character. It doesn't have to be this gigantic, like dragon or something. It could be like just some humanoid who's extremely skilled, and you could decide whether or not I want to make him stop using magic or make him stop using these crazy melee attacks where he's flipping around me nonstop.
I like that because and even in 5e,
then he still gets double the movement. It still makes this guy seem really godlike, right? That's kind of the idea.
And boss-like. I mean, that's the goal. We want boss fights. Now, you really could even stack on this by giving them, additional like reaction abilities and some legendary actions and make it seem like this guy's attacking 4, 5, 6 times. When in actuality, it's just 2 different monsters,
it's just two
that are in one
going.
square, or one area. And I think that's the genius of it, because one thing that makes a single boss encounter so uneventful is how many times an entire group will get to do stuff before they do, even with legendary and lair actions. Though I'll tell you what, in my opinion, those fixed a lot.
Yes.
Like from just monsters that could just swing really hard to, okay, now the area around you is trembling and stalactites are falling from the ceiling. Boom. Top of the round.
And now he somehow went 30 feet and now he's behind you and he's about to grapple you. Like you don't like Jeremy just moved just 6 seconds ago, and suddenly in those same 6 seconds he's here behind me and I don't know how he got here. Like I don't know. That's the stuff I like.
Yeah.
So
overall,
I get it.
this is definitely one of my favorite things. We mentioned this is only my first form. I think that would be a cool character or monster concept, like something that just gets progressively stronger during the battle, and going the other way. I don't. Like,
You could do that.
You would have to increase their damage and then like heal them, I would think. Like, how would you do that? Like, for instance, in Dragon Ball Z, you've got
well, there's still
who's the stupid mech chick that Frieza. God damn it, Frieza.
He's a dude.
Whatever. I don't care. It's guy, girl. It's an alien. It doesn't matter.
Fair.
Frieza gets progressively stronger during the fight. So, with this sort of mechanic, could you?
You could, and the way that I think you could do it too is because they're still effectively taking damage, right? You don't want to take that away from them. I mean,
That's
Frieza
true.
lost half his fucking body. There's no way he's going to be able to keep attacking normally, but he still threw some energy discs at him.
That's true.
And threw a gigantic, blast at Goku.
Wasn't that Goku's energy though?
I mean, he gave it to him, but he still could fight. That was the
Frieza,
idea.
you fool!
He was like, I'm going to make it so you live. And he's like, all right, but fuck you. And he's like, I tried to let you live. I don't know why you're not accepting
Do you know what I think would make this really, really cool? A combination. Maybe they don't start off as one. Maybe your Voltron thing comes back, right? Maybe you design the monster around 5 of these things, and then as they die, they form up into one beast, and you're doing this. So instead of it's just 2, maybe it's like 5 monsters.
That'd be so crazy.
Now,
That'd be so much work.
Yeah, but man, it would be so much fun.
It would be fun.
With
but
your powers combined, you will squish these adventurers.
Because, like, the thing is like, if you killed one, you have to choose a way for it to add... You could add a way for it to add another effect to, like, a certain part of the monster. So there's still... Because I think in, like, Voltron, or at least in, like, maybe, like, old school Power Rangers, they could connect each other without necessarily having to form the big Megazord. And so you could do stuff like that, and that'd be really cool.
That sounds really cool. That
sounds really
complex.
complicated, but you could do it.
What I think overall is pretty cool with these simple details that he's given, the Paragon hit points and the Paragon actions, you really can create interesting bosses even at low levels. He mentioned kobolds. Tossing 2 simple kobolds together makes it significantly stronger. Not really. I mean, it just is tougher than all the ones around it, and it moves faster, and it gets more turns. But what's interesting, though, is
Just a kobold on top of another kobold, like a piggyback ride. He's like,
Oh,
get him,
God.
buddy! Hey, you're as tall as him now, you can get him! He's like, ah!
Or the boss is actually 3 kobolds in a trench coat.
Yeah, I think that's where he was going with that, weren't you?
More or less, but it's
so-
same thing.
Overall, what are your guys' thoughts of this before we close out?
I like it. It's just, man, I can definitely see the homework you would have to do in order to do this. That's the thing.
The calculating the CR, there was like pages, a whole
Yeah.
big page of that.
Ooh. One theory: a guy wearing an animated suit of armor.
That's a great idea,
I love
actually.
that.
Yeah, that is
They
huge.
beat the shit out of the animated armor so much that
Yeah,
it
it
breaks
just
down,
leaves
and
it
now
there.
it's just the guy running around with his own weapon.
Because the guy acts and the armor acts.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah.
That's really
Clever?
That's clever. Yeah,
Yeah, that's
that was
nice.
really because I've always thought like, what happens if someone just wore the animated armor? Does it kill you?
I imagine it would just still do whatever it wanted with you inside.
Yeah,
At least in my mind.
it's just like it's like trying to move and you're actively fighting. It's like, no, we're going left. It's like, but I want to go right.
What is he saying there?
Core bubble shape.
There
that
is
can do,
a
like,
there is a
psychic
core
damage.
bubble shape that can do like psychic damage, and the tendrils that can do lightning damage or something underwater. Two separate entities, but look like one. I can see that.
I like that too.
That's really cool.
There is really a lot of ways you can kind of go about this without just saying there's two of these guys. It's two snakes and they're fighting with each other. And
Yeah.
after a long rest, you find another snake.
And I
Like,
really
That's a-
feel like it would catch people off guard though. In this thing acts so many times.
Mhm. I like the idea. Another thing that I like about the whole idea that it gets it back after a long rest, so in case it does survive the fight,
Mm-hmm.
like even with like let's say like it's some warrior who is really good at magic and the sword, like the one that I said earlier on. You could even say like he sought somebody out and like he gained like almost like a prosthetic arm or something, and like he still
that.
retained everything, right?
Very
So
cool.
even though you removed his arm, he's still effectively the same guy because now he has a prosthetic arm. It's made of metal or something. I don't know. But that'd be
Man.
cool.
I totally need to build like a.
That'd be crazy. It'd be really weird.
I need to build one of these. I wish I had thought about it, but I did all the UTTs first. I always do those first before the topic, and I could have made a Paragon monster, and I didn't.
We'll do it next time.
That's a
Maybe
missed
next time.
opportunity. Don't you think? All right, I think
that's good.
that'll do it for our main topic, the Angry GM's Paragon monsters. If you like this, go and check out the Angry GM. Yeah, sure, he's a bit of an asshole in his posts, but it's very entertaining as long as you aren't a pansy and get offended by his insults, which are regular. Like, I'm
Yeah.
pretty sure, like, I read the
Although,
first
like-
one, it said, hey, welcome back, dipshits, or something like
Yeah, I
that.
mean,
Although
hey,
I would imagine some people consider that a bonus. It's like
some people might. I mean, yeah.
it's like how I started following a YouTube channel for some reason called like Major Kill, which basically explains Warhammer 40k lore. It's explained by an Australian.
What?
It's like, wow, I forget how much Australians don't have filters at all.
They just go. Yeah, the very first line is update. Hey, dipshits. So,
There you go.
oh, good stuff. All right. That'll do it for our main topic today.
Yeah. It was cool. I like that one.
Yeah,
Ian, would you like to tell about our prize giveaway today?
I can. Our prize giveaway, once again, comes from Jeff Stevens with the adventure Scourge of the Nightingale, Part 1, A Song of Love. A masked menace terrifies the region, raiding villages to fund her devious plan. Unknowingly, the adventurers stumble upon her most recent evil scheme, the kidnapping of the famous performer known as Devon Artis. Their mission is to deliver a ransom and collect Devon, though, as in most cases, as we all see in D&D, not all goes as planned.
Spit down my throat. How true is that?
Yep. You got it out.
I really got
Took a
it
little
out.
bit.
Everything was right.
Who's our winner today?
Our winner today is Core.
Golf clap? Golf clap.
Golf clap. Yeah. Oh, good job.
Congratulations.
Pokor.
If you didn't win, have no fear. Crit Academy's here. Head on over to critacademy.com/Jeff Stevens and get Villains and Layers free. 3 free. And Encounters on the Savage Seas 3 free. Ooh.
Yeah.
Sounds great.
Free stuff.
Now, on to our Unearthed Tips and Tricks, where we bring you new and reusable material for both players and DMs. All right, who wants to take the character concept?
I mean, it sounds kind of cool, so I might take it.
Go for
if
it.
you're not
Have at it.
Yeah.
being of noble. Oh, by the way, it's a knight's honor, which is always good. Being of noble birth is something few can be proud of, because let's be honest, being noble kind of sucks most times. Everyone wants to kidnap you and murder you. I don't see the I don't see the pros.
Servants.
This is okay. There's one pro. Tracing lineage back to heroes of old. Nobility is an honored tradition. Is it though? Granting access
Well,
to many luxuries that
some
many
think
commoners
so.
can't imagine. I guess that's fair. The most notable is the honor of becoming a knight in the high court. Knighthood yields awe and respect from even nobility. Because of this, your character has spent childhood growing up to be a knight. Every minute not spent watching the knights joust or battle in the arena was spent learning the practice yourself. It wasn't until you were of proper age that the truth hit you like a maul. You must be of noble birth to even be considered. Whoops. When you thought all was lost, you came up with an idea that just might work. Forge your own documents, blackmail any who can help you make your position a reality, and take up the mantle of a distant and unknown noble, all in the name of becoming an honorable knight. That's a good idea. There's no way that can go wrong.
No,
No.
not at all.
It worked for the guy in A Knight's Tale, where I stole this from 100%.
Yeah, that's fair. I guess it did.
Well, it almost didn't go well, I guess. Spoiler alert.
Oh, well,
Good movie.
Yeah, I totally ripped this from A Knight's Tale. This is an awesome character concept, and I think it would be so much fun to role play being this high noble and then just leaving specific cues that you're full of shit around to see if the players or their characters ever catch on.
that'd be kind of fun.
I think it
I
would
could
be.
like that. Because you could totally just go with you can just go straight into the noble background, and you can choose the little knight variant. So you still have like a few lackeys with you who kind of like help doff
Okay.
and don your armor. And the reason they do that is because they're like, oh, but he's a noble. He has to be. And you're just like, yeah, totally, yeah. Totally doing it.
I'm sorry, sir. In order to enter this party, you must have an invitation. What do you mean I have an invitation? Don't you know who I am? Well, if you're that big of a dick, you must be a noble and therefore have an invitation.
There you go.
I mean, I guess you're right. Honestly,
In
gets
my
on in.
opinion, the coolest part of this is it gives your DM free reign to determine when and how it fails.
Yeah.
Where your
'Cause you know
cover
it's
is
going
blown.
to.
Yeah.
That's the idea.
And it basically opens it up to here's some material for the DM to play with. Tell me a story of how I fail.
I like the idea too because you can literally write in your flaw, "This is all a lie. I'm not this person."
I'm full of shit.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm full of shit. And your
That's
DM's gonna be
awesome.
like, "Yeah, you are."
Yeah, so you mentioned the noble background. I think you could go with something like the charlatan that gives you like
Oh yeah, I guess you could do
forgery
that. Yeah.
document skill and stuff like that.
Well,
so.
I thought you didn't even forge it yourself. Like you
Oh, well,
hired
yeah,
somebody.
yeah.
That's what I was going with.
Yeah, it does say forge your own documents or blackmail anybody who can make the position.
Yeah.
So those are really cool too. Like if it ends up being you choose to blackmail somebody, well, they're probably not going to let that slide. So
Probably
does this
not,
person
yeah.
you blackmailed show up later?
Do you have to kill him?
Right. Or are they trying to kill you? Just an assassin shows up in your bed and it's not related to anything that's going on. He says, Billy says hi.
He just. You see him have like a lever. You're like, what? Where am I? I'm in my bed, right? He's like, I mean, I'm gonna kill you, so I'll tell you anyway. But yes, I did capture you. You were sleeping. You're a really heavy sleeper. Like
I tripped and
couldn't
fell,
even-
knocked over a vase.
I even dropped you. Your head hit the floor.
Didn't wake up.
You didn't even move.
I drank a lot.
He's like, I drink to dull the pain. He's like, fucking another one. He pulls a lever and kills you.
You got anything else on this one, Ian?
There is so much you can do with that. So much roleplay potential.
Yeah,
I can agree.
it really is. So
It's a good one.
it's also a great movie if you haven't seen The Knight's Tale.
Yes. which is a medieval movie that somehow has a 90s rock and roll soundtrack.
Doesn't
don't
it?
think
It's got
about
the
it too
"We Will,
much.
We Will Rock You," right?
Well, the opening scene shows like the pets at the jaws going. For Pete's sakes.
That's awesome. I forgot about that. All right, that'll do it for our character concept, the Knight's Honor. A Knight's Honor.
Good on you.
Our monster variant of the day is the Butcher of Cruelty.
Butcha.
Some creatures love combat and death. Some even revel in it. Few do it like the Butcher of Cruelty, who not only smiles with each swing of its cleavers, but seems to be invigorated by it, to a point where even those around are also swept up in its madness. The Butcher even destroying villages by merely the Butcher even destroying villages by merely passing through. through partaking in the chaos it finds to be a delight. For them, what better feast is there? All right. So
I did say you could freely edit this.
yeah, I didn't. No, I did. I sped read through it.
My
And-
grammar is
and-
not my strong suit.
Yeah. Me neither. I only speak bad English, and I'm a poor writer. That's why I have to pay good editors. Thanks, Patrick. All right. So the origin of this is the young white dragon. Is the stat block you're gonna use? You're gonna lose the burrow
Wild.
feature, fly, swim, blind sight, ice walk, bite, and cold breath. That's a bunch of stuff.
That's about everything.
The claws become dual cleavers.
That's a little bit better.
The new feature, Aura of Bloodlust. When any creature starts its turn within 20 feet of the butcher, that creature must succeed on a DC 15 Wisdom saving throw, or it must immediately take the attack action, making one melee attack against a random creature within reach. If no creatures are within reach, it makes a ranged attack against a random creature within range, throwing its weapon if necessary.
I love it. That's a good one.
Feed on the crowd. Whenever a creature within 40 feet of the butcher dies, the butcher gains 5 temporary hit points and has advantage on all attack rolls, ability checks, and saving throws until the end of its next turn.
Pretty good.
What do you guys think?
I'm about it. I love just the chaos that ensues.
This could be a really good Paragon monster.
Yeah.
With its Feed the Crowd ability, you surround it with minions, and as the characters are like defeating the minions, it runs up and just finishes them off, and then just and drinks in their blood and their smell, and you see his body just get bigger and bigger, starts
Yeah.
bulging, blood vessels are about to burst in its veins in its body, and I don't know, that just is what I'm envisioning.
Some wild stuff.
Does that sound pretty interesting to you guys?
I'm about it. It's
I
a-
mean, I just like the aura alone. Just like compelling
Yeah.
people in this area to fight the closest target.
I like that whole like frenzy
Yeah.
kind of thing.
And I feel like some players would get a joy out of it. I get to make an attack against a person? Oh, God. Let it be Ian. Let it be Ian. Yes, it's Ian. I mean, sorry, Ian.
Wait. You make him punch other players who's been being a dick to me this whole time? I can get away with it? Okay.
yeah,
That's
like,
basically what it is.
I can get away with this.
What I think would be cool is this can make an amazing adventure hook because this guy just travels through towns.
And just everyone starts
everyone
beating
goes
the hell out of
crazy.
each other.
Yes.
That's why I kind of try to type it up the way I did. And he's like, hey, when we had minions, he can sacrifice them for health.
Yeah. Go run, chop off their heads. Yeah.
See, that's
I
another
love it.
thing. You can literally, this guy could literally walk up to any of his minions, and you would think like, oh man, he's got an army of minions. He's gonna just come after us with all those guys.
Just
And
like
he-
crushes one skull.
yeah, and he just grabs one. He goes, and everyone's just looking around like, wait.
He rips
no.
off its head and drinking in the blood. It drips from it.
And the players are like, wait, no, he's on your side.
Not anymore.
He throws the head at the player.
No, wait, you're supposed to let it heal.
Oh man, I love this monster. I cannot wait to use him in Halloween around Halloween. So
Be a good time.
yeah, that'd be fun.
Good one.
All right, that'll do it for our monster variant, the Butcher of Cruelty.
Not bad. I like that one. Got some good stuff.
Ian, would you like to tell us about our
Exceptional.
encounter of the podcast?
I most certainly can. Our encounter of the podcast has no title.
Whoa, come on, Justin. Okay,
Has no
while
title.
you're reading, I'll come up with a title name because apparently I forgot.
While the characters are asleep, they may have posted a watch. Late into the night, a beaten, broken, and bloodied, and dying courier, a dude, tag neutral scout, stumbles into camp,
Dude.
collapsing into the ground. In his hand is a damaged envelope with a waxed seal. A successful DC 14 Intelligence Arcana check reveals that the seal belongs to a nearby minor noble house. It warns of an assassination attempt of Kali El, a priest, in 3 days during her birthday celebration by an enemy noble house. The city where the noble house is 2 days travel away under normal conditions. If the characters decide to try and warn the noble of the assassination by a hired Oni named Yizug, they must travel
Zug.
at a forced march for at least 20 hours each day in order to make it in time, giving your characters exhaustion. When they arrive, the characters must locate the assassin and stop them. Now, this is really difficult because of the because of the shape change ability the assassin possesses. The characters may also attempt to locate and warn Kali L, which is difficult due to the massive amount of protection and guard she has, including the captain, who happens to be the assassin in disguise, who prevents anyone from getting near Kali. And this encounter is known as the Courier's Warning.
This seems pretty tough.
What do you guys think?
I like it.
This has a tough one.
I like it.
Like, because you know they're going to be exhausted.
Yeah.
So they have to find either some different form of travel.
If they think about it.
If they
Because some players may not. Like,
Oh,
we
yeah.
gotta run.
Yeah, we gotta. Yeah, that'd be us. I'm gonna be honest. But man, and then the shape change and
The shape change was definitely the pure reason why I picked the Oni for this encounter. Because the fact that it can
So
just
hard.
become any shape. And
yeah,
if your goal is to warn of an assassin, and the assassin is actually with its target, and it's shape changed, how are you going to convince and warn that person that you found some dying guy with a seal for her? Here it is, that this guy's the bad guy, yet this guy's been with her for, a couple days or whatever,
right.
or months or years or
Yeah, it
however
could have just
long.
taken name of the person and everything, right? So it could have been the person who's been there for years, and they're like, "But this is Captain Ellen. I've known her for all my life. This is incorrect." And you're like, "Oh well, fuck."
Do you know what I left, specifically left vague? How the assassination goes down.
Guess
Maybe
that's
it's
fair.
a poison and not a blade.
That's fair.
So what? Even if you manage to convince the person
doesn't
that
do
that's the
anything.
assassin,
Yeah.
put the assassin in jail. She goes to have a drink from her nightly wine drinking that's on her pedestal or whatever, and still dies because the player's like, "Oh, we stopped the assassin," but you didn't actually stop the assassination. I think that's fascinating.
Or slit a bone inside her chicken. Chokes to death on it.
Or maybe there's like
She's
a
gonna
loaded,
choke on the chicken.
Or maybe there's like a loaded
I was not going for that.
crossbow
Okay.
bolt
Yeah.
from her door. So when she
Ooh.
opens it, it goes and she's dead
Passes out and
instantly.
collapses. How
She like took measurements, like, oh yeah, she's about 5'7". Yeah, this will be fine. I'm gonna load this right
Well,
here.
because to me this says the players have to figure out, they would have to interrogate, or somebody would have to interrogate even if you did find the assassin, what was the method they were planning to use? Because you're just going to assume they're going to attack, right?
Right.
But if this person is heavily guarded all the time, that's a
There's
foolish
no way,
endeavor,
yeah,
right?
No way you'd attack.
So, I don't know. I thought this was a fun idea. It seems like it would really go a lot of different ways, and I'd be intrigued to see how it plays out.
It would be very, very scary to deal with. I will admit. I would.
Well, and you've got if you're exhausted,
You disadvantage on everything.
How
pretty much.
if you've got more than one level of exhaustion, I feel like you would be more cautious about just charging into combat.
Well, yeah. I mean, I
you know?
would.
But would you?
Yes, absolutely. I get worried
Oh,
about charging
shit.
into combat when I have only 10 HP left.
Yeah.
Because I know I'm like, well, I'm probably going to get boned here, so, well, I might get a few attacks in, but after that, I am probably going to get striked.
Any other comments on this encounter?
There are so many ways that this could go down.
Yeah.
There's a lot of ways that players can have fun with this, as well as the DM.
Honestly, that's why I really like this format, because this says, here's what the goal is, here's what's supposed to happen, but it's only the destination. It doesn't include the journey. Well, this
Yeah.
one actually kind of does with the walking, but
Yeah,
not
but
what I was going for.
nothing-
But
Yeah, but that's only like the very beginning
Detailing,
of it, right?
yeah.
It's meant to impose a condition on your players.
yeah, and you can make it even worse by sending them through like harsh conditions.
Like a volcano or like a blizzard.
Yeah. All right, that'll do it for our
one.
encounter, a Carrier's Warning.
Pretty good.
Austin, would you like to tell us about our magic item today?
I always do. Our magic item today is the Blast Patch. A blasting patch is a small mixture of explosive powder mixed with jagged crystals, so quite literally a grenade.
Yeah, actually.
A creature can spend 1 minute applying the blast patch carefully to the ground in a 5-foot square. So
That doesn't
never mind,
sound like a
it's
grenade.
C4. The blast patch becomes a dangerous trap that explodes when tread upon with 20 pounds or more.
It's a mine.
It's a landmine now.
Are you sure? Because you had it. You thought you had it right at the
It's a
beginning.
claymore. It's a freaking claymore.
Is it a Claymore? Okay. The blast patch can be detected with a contested Wisdom Survival versus Wisdom Perception.
Now, I'm looking for some feedback on this. I wasn't sure how to write that because I wanted the person who set the trap, their check to be important. If you set the trap with your survival check and roll really low, I feel like it should be easier to spot than somebody that rolled really high and made sure, they covered it with every little detail.
Ooh, maybe not so the ground, but they apply it to like a door, so when they open it inward.
That's nice. I like that. Anyways, I wasn't sure how best to do that because I didn't want it to just be a wisdom perception check. I wanted the
Yeah.
player who's setting it up for their skill to matter. So that's how I worded
Do
it.
like a trap check or something.
Yeah, that's not really a thing.
That's
But
not
well,
really a
that's what
thing,
survival's
yeah.
for, right? Survival's for setting up traps,
Yep.
right?
Yeah,
So-
so I guess that's the only way
I
to
don't
really
know.
do
I
it.
didn't mean to spend too much time on that, but if you guys got some solutions to better word that, I couldn't find any good examples in
I'm not
any
really
of the
sure.
Rogue
WotC
has
stuff.
trap sensing.
Maybe.
I'm not sure. Anyway, blast patches come in a multitude of varieties. Good. Below are the 3 most common. There's a fire patch. It makes boom. Each creature within a 10-foot sphere must make a DC 14 dexterity saving throw, or take a smaller fireball to the face of 46 fire damage on a failed save.
That's funny.
Or have as much on a successful. Ice Patch releases a blast of icy air. Each creature within a 10-foot sphere must make a DC 14 Constitution saving throw, or they take 2d8 cold damage on a failed save, or half as much on a successful one. Additionally, it becomes slippery ice. Not good for your enemies.
Details in the DMG because I
Yeah.
wasn't gonna write it all out.
That's fair. Yeah, don't.
I'm lazy.
Slippery ice is bad terrain. Good luck.
Right?
Shock Patch releases a burst of crackling lightning. The creature must make a DC 14 dexterity saving throw or take 2d6 lightning damage on a failed save. If they fail, they can movement becomes 0. Wow, that's rough. And you can't take reactions. Even more rough. On a successful check, the creature takes half as much.
Yeah,
And,
that's what that's supposed to say.
and
I don't know where it
probably
went.
doesn't take the imposing stuff, I assume.
Yep.
Boom. Chocolate.
What do you guys think?
I like it. You could even make like a poison patch. That'd be fun.
Yeah, I only got
mean,
the 3,
obviously,
but
yeah,
yeah,
the
there's
3.
there's definitely more you could do. These were the most common.
Yeah.
But
No, I see that. Yeah, yeah. You could do some fun stuff with that.
Would-
See, I would love this if I was playing like Raven, because Raven loves to just do stupid shit all the time. So he'd probably just put it on his fucking grappling hook and be like, "All right, if I fail, guys, I'm assuming with the explosion impact, I'm gonna blast my grappling hook to the other spot because I can't really reach it unless I start swinging a little bit."
can totally see.
So he's just like, and as it tinks, he's like, "All right, now the minute I jump onto this, hopefully it blasts that direction. Wish me luck."
You would totally do that.
And then he swings and prays a lot. You could do like a thunder patch.
But would
That'd
you
be
like?
weird.
Yeah, where it just like knocks you back.
It just, yeah, it's just
and
a
it's an
concussion
alarm.
blast.
And an alarm too.
It could
Because
be.
doesn't Thunderwave you
Yeah, it
use a
does, like,
Thunderwave spell?
300.
At 300 feet you can
feet.
hear it.
So it's just like you just open the door. It's like a shatter spell on a. You just on your door. It's just like, oh yeah, it's no big deal. It just gets sent back. That's a good one.
Oh man.
I like it.
You have any
It's a good one.
things you want to talk about?
There could be quite a lot of versatility with this.
That's
and
true.
I do like the touch of the contested checks.
Yeah.
I do like the
I
contested
really
checks.
and I really was trying to find good alternatives, but that's what I ended up settling on. So
See,
Which
and I
makes
think
sense.
And I think you could even rule like giving your player like advantage or disadvantage depending on like where they say they put it to.
oh yeah, for sure.
And that could
I
be
definitely
really
can see that.
interesting.
Like you mentioned on the door, I think that would be really clever.
I think you could also argue maybe it's like there wasn't survival, like dexterity sleight of hand.
I could see that.
Yeah.
Depending on what they're
Like I
how
said, I
they're
can see it
doing it.
argued.
Yeah.
You
Oh no.
dexterity sleight of hand, like you put it in someone's pocket. So when they put their hands in their pocket, just boom. You're just like, Run. Everybody get away from him.
Get away from him.
He is a walking time
I
bomb.
put a fire patch on him.
The minute someone bumps into him in the crowd, the whole crowd is dead.
What's that one spell that the wizards can get that lets you put like a mark on something, limit prep time, but it can have like various effects, including fireball?
I know what you're talking about. The warding, glyph of warding.
Could you put that on person?
No, it can't move.
This can.
This can, yeah.
I remember how the running joke in like Order Out to Stick, where like the wizard and the rogue were constantly going at it, and the rogue was constantly being delivered letters. What's it say? I prepared explosive rooms today. Kaboom!
It just blows up. Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
That's funny.
I like that.
I think that'll do it for our magic item, the blast patch.
It's a very fun one. I like this one. You can definitely do some really janky shit with it.
For sure.
Alrighty.
For our dungeon master tip, we have designing your naval ship and crew.
Arr.
Now, get out.
I mean,
Get the hell out.
you know.
Designing a ship and its crew and their motives really adds a lot to the narrative in fun and exciting ways, especially
Absolutely.
on those, even on the mundane trips from one port to another. In Call of the Deep, JVC Perry had great formats for this that really gave each crew a great personality as well as any individual NPCs. So we actually have a sample from the Call from the Deep. If you haven't checked out the episode that he was on, it was awesome. It was so much fun. That product is amazing. It's a shame I don't know if there's a physical copy of it yet. All right, so in this you have the title of the ship, which is the Breaking Dusk. It functioned as a pirate ship in this case. The crew size, this one is 15. And then, of course, got to have a captain, right?
Mm-hmm.
So we have Captain Rank Stormgale, a neutral evil male half-orc bandit captain, wield a scimitar of speed. It does include a few details of weaponry, 2 ballistas, 1 ram. Little things like that become important. Why? Why do you think something like that's important?
I mean, you're probably going to use it at some point.
You may, but if not, at least it's something to describe, too.
Right.
Something to add flair to, which I think is really nice.
Mm-hmm.
And, of course, the crew has to have a little bit of, little bit of loot on them.
Yeah.
So it says, you got treasure, which is 1d6 gold per person, per crew member. Now, this is a short paragraph, but it's really well done. The Breaking Dusk is notorious pirate ship that plies the Is that the right word?
Yeah, I think so.
That plies the water south of the Nelithenther Isle, known as the Race.
Okay.
The ship flies the flag of the Black Armada, 3 red cutlasses on a field of black. Now, that's another really important detail that I think gets overlooked when people get on boats.
Yeah.
The flag that's being flown.
Yeah, you want to know what...
It's not just a Jolly Roger.
Right, which is what the Skull and Crossbones, right?
Yep.
That's so generic. Come on. At the very least, go get all the flags from what was that anime with 1,000 episodes?
One Piece?
One Piece.
Yeah.
And get all their pirate ship flags and just pull one out randomly.
You could.
That shit's
It would
weird.
not be
It gets
hard.
really, yeah, that gets really weird too. Captain Ander Stormgale is a charismatic individual and would prefer his targets to give up their ships willingly, and it's in quotes, than take it from them by force. At a press, he'd accept a duel instead of a full-out naval fight, which is likely to end badly for both boats. I mean, who wants to waste money, right?
Yeah, I can see both parties accepting that idea.
Because especially if you've got one boat that's bigger than the other and just be like, all right, here's the thing. I don't want to kill you all. My crew, I don't want to lose a few of them. So here's what we'll do. Bring your captain down here. We'll do a one-on-one, and the other crew will give up. Well, of course, this guy's got a slight advantage from him. He's carrying a magical weapon.
They don't know that.
But I think that's interesting because now you could be like rolling for persuasion to try to convince the crew to turn against the captain. Hey, yeah, fight him. We got your back.
Yeah, like, oh, we don't have his back.
Anyway, so that was a really
In
another
fact,
one.
I'm going to stab him the minute that he leaves the boat.
Okay. Since you brought up One Piece, the anime is at 939 episodes and the manga is at 988 chapters.
Not surprising.
I'm sorry. Are you offended by my rough estimate of 1,000?
No, it made me curious.
Oh.
And
so
the author said there's about 4 years left in the manga, so...
yeah, that's
He
ridiculous.
also said that I think like 4 years ago, He said he was gonna do. There's gonna be about 4 years left, and then he thought about it. He's like, no, actually, I have more to talk about. So there's another 4 years.
All right.
Yeah.
He's crazy, but he's a genius.
So it also says here, if the Breaking Dusk is forced into combat, it attempts to ram the opposing ship before the crew uses grappling hooks to launch themselves onto the on board the ship. Once again, this goes back to its weaponry. Now we have an idea of what the strategy of this sort of ship would be. The ballista are used primarily as harpoons, fulfilling the same purpose as the grappling hooks, but prefer not to use them due to damage they cause. So there's a lot of information to unpack here. We kind of touched on some of it, but basically the gist of this is if you went down and broke this segment down, you would have information on the captain. You would have information on what the ship does normally when it's not just, killing people, I guess.
Yeah.
What the flags look like, the boat strategy in battle, the captain's preferred format of battle, and a simple reason why they battle that way. In this case, they prefer to ram it because the ballista caused too much damage on the ship, I guess. I don't know.
Maybe.
But
whatever. Sure.
I think this is a really great format if you wanted to design a ship or a boat. We did Captains and Cannons previously, which was like a collection of them.
Yeah.
But I thought this was a really great outline of how to build it. You can do this merchant ships. You can do pirate ships. You can do military vessels, all that stuff. So what do you guys think?
Not bad.
It's a good tip.
I like that one. Yeah. It is some, because while not every adventure is going to have a pirate ship, every adventure will use some form of like group, right? And you always want to describe what the group does. Yeah. So
Yep,
I like that one.
Always good to have a geek group of buccaneers in your back pocket.
So it is definitely a way to get the players going somewhere without having to be always on land.
Yeah,
So
I agree.
it's a good one.
Alrighty. That'll do it for our Dungeon Master tip, designing your naval ship and crew.
Not bad. Oh, jeez.
Early in the morning.
You make me wish I was an alcoholic, you know that? Because then I could immediately forget this when I got out of here.
All right. Over yet.
All right. That
Player tip of the podcast.
our player tip of the podcast is don't be a dick. And you can avoid dickitude by mastering that martial training. What is an illusion?
What illusion?
Right. So I found this awesome article on Bells of Lost Souls. We've all been there. You want to hit the wizard with your powerful, stunning fist, your two-handed greatsword, and decapitate the shit out of that wizard.
Mm-hmm.
But when they go, then they go and cast shit like Mirror Image, which lets them basically ignore up to 3 attacks, pretty much, which is a pain in the ass.
In theory, yes.
Or they drop Blur, which makes them harder to hit as their body gets all soft and songy, chewy. I don't know what that means.
Not
Do you
really
know
sure.
what that means?
Nope.
No.
I would say blurry, I guess, but I guess not.
Of course, I did also with my artificer threaten to cast Blur, Sanctuary, and Shield.
Dick.
Yeah.
These are all potent spells that don't require concentration. So even if you hit the wizard, they still have their defenses. Unless you don't look.
Yeah.
Seriously, all you have to do is close your eyes. And suddenly, nothing else matters. Mirror Image, Blur, and many other powerful defensive abilities, such as, Medusa or Basilisk, Petrifying Gaze are the most common ones, rely entirely on your character being able to see it, to believe it, and to be affected by it.
I guess I never really thought about that.
So, we'll use Mirror Image, for example. When you hit, the player gets to roll a die and determine if it just misses, no matter what you rolled on the die. But if you close your eyes and just swing with disadvantage, it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
I think you have a higher chance to hit them at disadvantage than you do by rolling a
Letting
high
them,
number than
yeah.
them just forcing you to
Yep.
miss. Because then you can ignore that whole
At the
feature.
very least, at least the ball's in your court. You failed because.
Yeah, you took a risk.
Yeah.
I close my eyes and I have the lucky feat. Your move.
Your move, sucker.
Yeah. I have 3 dice to your 1. What do you do?
Honestly, this is something that I had
Lucky
never...
feet would be insane with
It's
this.
like, oh, what? Nope. Yeah! You know, and
Yeah, that's
because
pretty good.
with Lucky you would basically roll 3,
Yeah,
and
you roll
that
3
you
dice.
don't take the lowest.
You pick the one you
You
want.
get the one you want.
Mm-hmm.
Snazzy.
Yeah, the way mirror image works is, there's 3 images. Technically, you roll a d20, and depending on which result you get, you either hit a mirror image or the caster, and for each mirror image that's hit is destroyed, which is the odds. So
Yeah. So it's terribly inconvenient from a DM's perspective, but it's worse if an NPC uses it because it can be very frustrating.
Yeah.
So this
Makes
is
sense.
this is a pretty straightforward one, but it blew my mind that I never noticed that.
Yeah, you just have to just close your eyes and just swing.
Spray and pray.
Yeah.
or just cast fireball.
That's
yeah, I guess. Fireball does really just solve a lot of
It
things.
does.
too. Yeah.
It's kind of wild. That's probably why it's fire, and that's probably why like half the monsters in the monster manual are resistant to
or
fire.
immune. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's pretty cool. Anyways, I think this is a great tip. It's something I had never considered. I'm hoping these guys forget this by the time they fight some magical people coming up, but I'm sure they won't now that I've actually actively pointed it out. But what's really cool is you could really screw over other people too. Like this would be a great opportunity if you had like the darkness spell to drop an orb of darkness somewhere. Because now at least if you're going to swing blindly, so is everybody else.
Unless
Yeah.
you'll rock with Devil Sight.
So there's,
That's a good
I mean, there's
combination.
still ways around it, but
Right. All right. I think that'll do it for our player tip of the podcast. Don't be a dick. And you can avoid dickitude by mastering that martial training. What's that illusion? Close your eyes, bitches.
just close your eyes. Take
If I
the
don't
lucky
see
feet, close
it,
your
it's
eyes.
not real.
Make it go away. Make it go away.
That's the way you go about it.
Please join us on our next episode. We'll be discussing Captain Hatchfield's Guide to Rare Dragons. We will have special guests, Bite-Sized Gaming. I'm really excited to have these guys on. I actually was recently on an episode of their show. I will let you know when that show goes live. Like us, they pre-record way in advance. Well, like we used to. They pre-record way in advance, so I don't know when that's going to release. But I'm really excited to talk about this. I promise it'll come with fat loots.
Yay!
All you got to do is show up.
Fat
I'm really
loots.
excited. I love when they sent me the sample. I about lost my shit. It is so well done. So
Cool.
that's another really exciting opportunity for us. So
Yeah. If you have any feedback, other tips and tricks, or topics you would like us to discuss, please send them to us. You can email them to us at critacademy@gmail.com or find us on Twitter and Facebook at critacademy.
We hope you enjoyed your experience here at Crit Academy. If you did, you can help others find the show by leaving a, hopefully, 5-star review on iTunes, or you can just send a message telling us how much you enjoyed the show. And also, be sure to give us a like and a share.
yep. Make sure to subscribe to our show over at critacademy.com. Follow us on YouTube at youtube.com/c/critacademy. Also follow us on Twitch. That way we can help you on your future adventures, as well as you'll be entered to win cool prizes each and every single week. Make sure to check out our fellowship members. If you have not checked out Gabe and Jeff's Inter-Party Conflict, it's one of my favorite podcasts. Those guys are awesome. And I don't say it's my favorite podcast just because they give away my products, which if you go over there right now and listen to an episode, you can enter to win some of our free giveaways over there. But I actually genuinely love their content, and I think you all would too. I also, if you haven't checked out Game Master Stash, the group on Facebook, every few hours they're posting new monsters, new ideas, new everything. I don't even
true.
know how they keep up with it. It's crazy. So
Probably don't. They're probably just like mindless drones, just like, must make monster, must make item.
oh man, that's funny. They're all VAs, virtual assistants.
Yeah.
All right, that'll do it for our show today. I'm your host Justin.
I'm your co-host, Austin.
And I'm your host, Dan. Thanks for listening.
Keep your blades sharp and spells prepared, heroes.
Woo!
All right, thanks for joining us today so much. Thank you everyone who became a backer and supported our Kickstarter. Thank you for everyone who shares our content on our Facebook and on our Twitter that helps us reach other people. Every little bit of that really does help grow our show and our audience. So thank you all. You guys are awesome. I want to give a huge shout out to our special patrons who do sign up and support us monetarily. You guys are really awesome, and we continue to be able to do what we do because we have your support. So thank you all so
It
much.
really does help us a lot. Thank you.
Let's all wave goodbye. See you guys later.
See you guys.